Hello, everyone. For those of you who are about to hear, or for those of you who haven't heard, I had chronic hiccups for 9 months. From when I was, it started, how old are you, sophomore year of high school? 16, till after I was 17. It was like March to January. Yeah, March to January. I can do math, I promise. Where I hiccuped for 9 months and then eventually 12 medicines later, got Abilify and it cleared up the hiccups, but we were all kind of left wondering what may have caused them or if there was something still wrong or not. So I'm here with a little bit of an update on that area. I had a doctor's appointment 2 weeks ago, which is why I didn't film 2 weeks ago, because my appointment was Wednesday, and Tuesday I laid around the house not eating out of nerves, because it was my first time not visiting my pediatrician in 2 years, and 2, I pieced out my pediatrician and went to, what's an adult doctor called? Just a general non-pediatrician, a pediatrician for adults. Yep, I probably sound really stupid right now. Just the regular doctor. So, he's now my primary care physician. So, in case anyone's now confused about what I'm talking about, I went to my new primary care physician. I know I sound like I'm about to cry, but I'm not. I'm losing my voice. So, not bad news in any way came out of it. If anything, it was a bit better news. For anyone who has watched my YouTube channel or my other videos since the chronic hiccup series has ended, you may have heard me mentioning a few times that I had an inflamed sternum, which is, oh god, I'm gonna butcher the Latin name, also called Costochondritis, give or take the pronunciation of a few of those syllables. And both times it happened before. It happened in August 2000, what year are we in, 2013? So, no, I graduated 2013, it's 2014. So August 2013 was the first time it inflamed to the point where I ended up in the hospital. Not even overnight, just, you know, in and out, convenience care, whatever you want to call it. And then I got for a second time July. It was July this year. And both times they were kind of like, we don't know much about it, we don't know what causes it, or why it happens, or really how it happens. They just kind of knew that if I took anti-inflammatory steroids, the inflammation would go away. And once again, it was one of those things, the first time I went, where the doctor was like, this should only happen to you once your whole life. Well, clearly, same words said to me by the doctor when I went in with my hiccups after hiccuping for over 5 hours, being sent home by the school nurse, was this should only happen once. Nothing ever only happens once, apparently. I also apparently never have a normal problem that anyone knows anything about. So, either way, the reason I switched from a pediatrician up out of the pediatric ward, thank God for being able to talk, it's words. The reason I switched out of the pediatric ward was simply because I had gone after a few weeks after my inflamed sternum, because the second my I went a few weeks after my second inflamed sternum because my sternum still hurt. Obviously, something wasn't right. Probably was still inflamed. And the pediatrician I had, who I'm not going to name, just kind of looked at me and was like, you need to go get a professional bra fitting, you need to do yoga, and what was the other thing she said? Maybe those were the only two. I think that's all she said to me. She didn't, like, check to make sure there was nothing wrong with my heart, which you're supposed to do when people have chest pain. She didn't check to see if my sternum was inflamed. She didn't even touch me. She just stood there, looked me in the eye, and was like, you need to do yoga. Thanks. Thanks for that. That really helped. Except for the fact that, I couldn't lift my left arm up because my sternum was inflamed, and if I lifted my arm too high, it pulled too much, and I passed out. Let me do yoga. Except without this arm. So, got approval from the insurance to switched out. Now I'm going to the same doctor my parents and my brother that lives in my house is going to. I don't know what doctor the other two brothers go to, but went in for my appointment with him, sat in the bed, sweating like it was nobody's business because my anxiety levels were out of the roof, and I was half tempted to jump out the window and run away and be like, forget it. And he came in and he asked about it, and I explained the situation to him. I explained how I had hiccups for 9 months and now my sternum kept inflaming and how it hurt and I couldn't move my left arm. Not that I can move my left arm, I couldn't lift it above a certain point without excruciating pain, and how it just kept happening and I didn't want to just keep going to the hospital every time it got awful to get anti-inflammatories to take care of it for a month or two. That shit's expensive. Let's be real. And he just kind of looked at me and was like, well, first, we have to make sure your heart's okay. Which it is. We did the EKG thing. And my heart's fine. I did, however, almost sweat myself to death because I was 99.9% certain that even though they said it didn't hurt, if something was going to go wrong and happen to someone, it'd be me. It was fine. You don't feel anything, even though you have electricity going in and out of your body. I mean, who knew? And so when my heart turned out fine, he was like, there's 2 things you can do for it, and then he pronounced the word flawlessly, which was impressive. You can either take ibuprofen on the days it's bad, a higher level ibuprofen. I got prescription stuff to help the inflammation better. And then he was like, or you can go to physical therapy, and physical therapy can do one of 2 things for you. Make it better, or make it worse. And he just was like, so I'm just gonna say we go with the ibuprofen for now. And that was that doctor's appointment. And so basically, I am going to indefinitely have problems with my sternum inflaming because it's been decided that it's not really a health problem. It's not, I mean, it's a health problem, but it's not like something is wrong with me that's causing the cartilage in my sternum to inflame. Like, it's not like I have a virus or something. I'm trying to make sense. Everything makes sense in my head, and I say it out loud, and I'm like, oh God. was I going with that? Right. So it's not, I'm not sick per se. There's just something mechanically wrong somewhere in my body that causes the sternum, the cartilage in my sternum, to inflame. So that's all fun and wonderful, and so that's why I didn't make a video that week. And the week after was the week of Christmas, and everyone was on vacation, and by everyone I mean everyone. There was not free room in my house to film in, and I didn't get the bright idea that I could clean my floor and film videos in here until Saturday. This Saturday. I'm super smart. And so needless to say, it was impossible to try to find a room to film in because there was someone in every room except the bathroom. And you guys probably don't want me to film a video while sitting on a toilet like, hey, I got some great makeup tips for you. Don't mind me sitting here on this here toilet as I talk to you. But either way, back to weekly videos on Tuesday. If anything else were to happen medically, I will make an update. Until then, I'm fine. I'm good. And there have been some questions that have come up about having had chronic hiccups. Sorry, let me just try and get comfortable. So I'm just going to address a few that were commonly asked. One is, do I hiccup anymore? I hiccup, assumably, like in a normal person, every now and then. The only real difference between my hiccuping and the average other person's hiccuping is that my hiccups are very loud and very violent, whereas everyone else is like, as they wait for the hiccups to end. Mine's more of like, quite like it was when I did have the chronic hiccups, where it's like rapid and like, and you just sound like a dying bird. Great, that's fun. Probably should have remembered the questions that I've been asked. Someone asked what it was like living with them and if it was hard. For the first month or two when you're adjusting to it, yeah. And when you're trying to relearn how to eat and talk and breathe effectively. I had to yawn so bad. And breathe effectively, yeah, kind of hard, yeah, kind of difficult, yeah, terribly annoying. But, all in all, not that hard to live with. Pretty simple, really, to just be like, yeah, hiccup 15 hours a day. I don't know. By the third month I was just like, whatever. It just became background noise and I just moved on with life. Except for, those few times where I was like, this is obnoxious, I'm gonna throw myself off a cliff. Outside of those moments, fine. It was great. Most other people always are like, how is hiccuping and sneezing? How is hiccuping and burping? I mean, everyone else hiccups at some point too. There have been people before me who have hiccuped and burped, or hiccuped and coughed, or hiccuped and sneezed at the same time. There's a chance you've done it. I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. Nothing really to tell in that department. It just happened. Boom, done. And those are pretty much all the questions. The questions that anyone ever asked me about my hiccups anymore. So yeah, that's how it was. Now I just have an inflamed sternum. that, you know, deal with one day at a time. By deal with one day at a time, I mean I'm pressing, exercising. I think if I strengthen my muscles, that perhaps it will help hold the cartilage in place. Exercising makes me angry. So on that pleasant note of exercise making me angry, in this very long rambly video about medical things that clearly I don't know that much about, even though they all involve me. Goodbye, and until next time.